Hey everybody, Scroft here. Welcome back to the channel for a really quick video. It is going to be a quick one. Giants are about to release a blog, literally, and I think in about 6 minutes time. And it's just a blog after we got all that information yesterday about the weather. And I actually think this is a really interesting blog, especially the take that they've done on it, where they've got kind of like role-playing aspects to it, where they've got some farmers and things like that. They're doing interviews, and it's to do with the weather on Riverbend Springs. So I thought I'd just do a quick video going through it. So I know I've got like a loyal following of viewers that keep tuning in for the news on FS25, so I want to thank you for that. But yeah, let's get into it. So it says at the top, weather change, twisters and hail with a chance of fog preview. I don't know if you also saw yesterday, a German YouTuber actually got hands-on gameplay, and he was doing an interview with Giant Software where we actually got to see the game and the weather real time. So go check that out. It's on YouTube. I'm pretty certain his YouTube channel is called Endplay. I'll put a link in the video description, but would highly recommend going and check that out because it's about an hour long and it shows off pretty much everything that we've been talking about. And yeah, it also shows the baby animals and you can see them like proper stumbling about, like the calves and stuff. So yeah, definitely recommend checking that out. But anyway, let's get into it. We'll stop as we read through just to talk about things that point out, but we'll read through and see what it says. In Riverbend Springs and multiple other locations around the world, the weather is predicted to change more often. As we look at darkening clouds in the sky, listening to the wind, the farmers closing in, one can notice clear signs that some weather is on the way. So straight away there, it says other locations around the world. So it's like in Riverbend Springs, which is an American map, and multiple other locations around the world, the weather is predicted to change more often. So that might be a thing which highlights that it's not going to be all climates, which I really like. And I did see a post yesterday by a modder that's basically said that he's had confirmation that this is something that can be adjusted by modders. So it's like a predictability. So how predictable is this? How the likelihood, basically, so you can change it on a map. So if Oxy was making a UK map, and this comment was by Oxy on his Facebook page, he confirmed that he can just turn it down completely and turn off twisters, which is something that I wanted to see because, like I said, we don't see them too often in the UK. We do see them, but they're very, in comparison to the twisters you see in America and the states that this map is obviously based on, they're not to that extent. They're like just really bad windstorms. So it'd be nice if we can still put the wind in and maybe have, some hail and stuff like that, but not so much the twisters. So I really like the fact that they can change that on the fly. That's great news for modders and for players. And then we've got some screenshots, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at all the screenshots at the end. I've got them all individually, probably better definition than what you're seeing right now, and we'll go through it. So it continues on and says, an August summer night, local farmers and residents are encouraged to take general precautions. But first, learn more in the following weather report and don't forget to pre-order Farming Simulator 25. And if you are pre-ordering, don't forget to use my creator code Scroft. Really appreciate that. I'm on the road to silver. I'm getting close now. I'm about 80% there. So I really do appreciate every single one of you that's helped me get to that point. And all it'll mean is I can get early access content that I think they kind of separate it out now, Giants do. So, I'll still get access to FS25, but maybe Silver and Gold get it a little bit earlier. And information like this, I'm only getting like right before. I think Silver and Golds are getting it a little bit before, which is fair play. But yeah, I really appreciate all your support. I'll put a link in the video description as well if you want to pre-order the game using my creator code. A twist is in the air. Farmers feel it everywhere. It's like the start of a song. Now, these are GIFs. That's a GIF there. And I have got them, but they're going to be really difficult to show in the video. But if you want to go to the blog and check them out, they'll probably be live as you're looking at them at the blog. So, yeah, if you want to see the little GIFs. On a glory night where the children of tomorrow dream away, farmers might notice the winds changing. We're expecting a light twister to touch down in a few areas. It shouldn't be anything too severe, but it's always wise to take precautions and secure any unroofed bales just in case. So that pretty much clarifies that if your bales are out in the field and there's a twister that goes through it, not only is it going to do crop damage, but it's going to pretty much just consume your bales. And you've lost all your bales then and your crop. So I don't think it'll destroy grass. I imagine it won't just destroy the grass in the grass field. It might kind of like revert them to a growth stage before or something. Thinking about it, if you've probably cut the grass, made some silage or hay or whatever, there's not going to be really much you can do. I wouldn't like it if it takes it completely all the way back where you've got to replant the grass in. Because I don't think a twister normally does that unless it's probably dragged something and damaged the ground. I don't know. But then we've got some more screenshots that we'll go through right at the end. But now something really interesting is hail. I'm looking forward to this because I can imagine the sound effects of it hitting, the windscreen in your tractor. You can just imagine how immersive that's going to be when it's hitting the tractor and the sound effects of it. It's going to be really good to see. So again, this is a GIF, this one here, just showing some of the hail dropping. Some hail is also predicted to hit. The good news is, after these brief disturbances, the skies will clear up and we'll see the sun shining brightly once again. The weather events will pass and we'll be back to calm and sunny conditions before you know it. And we've got some good pictures here, and I'll go through them, like I said, right at the end. It's interesting that we've got some crop damage there. I doubt hail's going to be doing that. It doesn't state that anywhere. But I do like it. I mean, I like the fact that we've got hail now. We've obviously got snow anyway and stuff like that. I don't know if they've changed the snow at all. It'd be nice if we get some, maybe in the future that could be something they bring in where we get really bad snowstorms. It's quite deep. You can see it collecting, drifting. Snow drifts are a common thing in the UK, especially up in the peaky areas and, national park areas. So it'd be good to see things like that maybe come into the game. And I know a lot of modders have done some great stuff with snow, especially on roads and stuff like that. So it's a possibility. Who knows? So now we're going to go on to, it looks like the actual storm hitting. So once the storm passes, local farmers are advised to inspect their fields for any destruction and assess the impact on their crops. While Twister fans may observe the weather spectre from a safe distance, let's be honest, we're all going to drive right into the Twister just to see what happens. It'd be amazing if it picks the car up that you're in and just flies it off to one side. It's not really Farming Simulator, but as a fan of the old Twister film, yeah, I mean, I'd I'd love to just try it once just to see. But anyway, farmers cannot afford to be careless as all weather events bear the potential to destroy a portion of the crops. Now, I watched this video that I mentioned to you by Endplay. I'm pretty certain it's called Endplay, the YouTube channel. And it is in German, just so I want to point that out. It is in German. But the Twister itself, it actually did quite a lot of damage. And I was quite surprised how severe. I think it was unfortunate where it hit. And he was timing. He sped the time up to about times 10. It started to move. Now, I think it's quite slow. I actually think it lingers in the area a little bit too much for my liking. I'd like it to be a bit more, speedy. I don't know how fast these Twisters move. I don't know if they're just quite slow and static as they're moving. But when he put it to times 10, it kind of looked at the speed I imagine it would kind of go across the ground. But I could be completely wrong. I'm new to Twisters. I've never witnessed one, never been through anything like that. I've only kind of watched the movies, like probably a lot of people. But yeah, let me know in the comment section if it's something you've experienced, a Twister. Are they quite slow, or are they literally rapidly moving across the ground? Obviously, they're moving fast in that certain spot because it's a cyclone but are they moving it across the ground at a speed as well? I'd like to know that. And we'll come back to these pictures. But now it's interesting because it's like it's interviewing farmers on the farm. So in Riverbend Springs. In Riverbend Springs, we caught up with a newfound farmer, David. He's 36 years old. When all the other farmers were running around doing stuff to prepare, I did not think very much of it. I'm pretty new to all this, So obviously he's new to it, didn't do any preparation work, and probably because of that he's lost it. But there's something in this that stands out to me. So let's read this. Having learned his lesson, the former white-collar worker lost about half of his crop on a rather tiny plot and all of his bales left out in the open. So I think the only thing he could have done there was take his bales in. The crop, he can't really do anything about it to protect it. But this bit here stands out to me. Even my shed got damaged. So does that confirm that? Because I know we've got like some kind of construction aspect to buildings and on the map. Does that mean we can repair buildings by chopping down trees, getting logs, maybe planks and stuff like that through a production, and then repairing damage to sheds? I mean, I would love that personally. I think it'd make the Twisters it would have more of a reason for me. Because if it's just randomly going through doing crop damage, it kind of, for me, it become a bit tiresome. But if it's doing damage to your buildings and you're repairing them, I like that aspect. I really do. So hopefully that's what it is. But I still think we've got a lot of information to come when it comes to the construction side of things. So yeah, hopefully we'll see some of that soon. He added, looking rather sad, while proclaiming that Mother Nature added insult to injury. Relative to way bigger field sizes, other farmers got off lightly in comparison. I guess that's just where it hits. Meanwhile, the local lumberjack and forester of Riverbend Springs was not available for comment while tending to dead trees that were affected by the storm. Some of us carry out essential duties. I must insist you grant me solitude while I tend to my fallen companions. he said in a grumpy tone before adding, I observed your cameraman indulging in refreshments. I strongly suggest you refrain from littering in the forest as you depart. Fair play. Fair play. So this is the calm after the storm. You can see it says, watch the sunrise for peace of mind. Instead, we got hold of retired farmer Walter, who shared his perspective on the recent weather changes. Good weather always follows bad weather sooner or later, says the 72-year-old farmer, reflecting on the shifting conditions. I don't know where all that thick fog suddenly comes from, though. Probably brought in with the wind of change. And then we got some more pictures. So basically just it's saying that after it's a nice calming thing, you might get a bit of fog, a bit of just calming weather, which obviously is a respite because you've probably got this loud noise as you're playing the game of the storm going through and stuff. So it's going to be nice. It's going to obviously look pretty good. When asked if he had any more farming wisdom to impact about the weather, Walter had a classic reply, let's take a rain check. We'll be revisiting Riverbend Springs in November to see how the weather has impacted the local farming community. Maybe you want to visit it yourself and ask the locals some questions, which is obviously a statement saying that, the game's coming out in November. You can see it all for yourself. And that's pretty much all the information we got. Pretty cool. Again, just going on about the pre-order. If you want to pre-order it, I mentioned it before, you get the bonus pack, the McDonald pack. So I'll put a link in the video description if you want to support me and you're buying for PC. But yeah, let's open up some of the pictures now and have a look at what's what. So these are coming out in a random order, not in the order that the blog was in. But this is the first one's really good because you can see the hail. You can see it. It's more defined. Definitely looks like hail. It's not like raindrops. You've got a mixture there where you can see some rain as well mixed into it. So it's going to be nice to see that. I just hope we hear it as well on the ground. But let's have a look if we can see anything that's standing out. Something missing in the distance. We've spoke about, the trees and the foliage. We don't need to talk about that too much. It's double-sided now, so it looks better. The same with the crop types. They're going to be more full because they're double-sided rendering, not just single-sided. The shed itself, it looks like it's taking that could be a shed that potentially might be that could be damaged. You can see that it looks that way. Is it something that can be repaired? I don't know. We'll have to just wait and see on that. This is a nice picture here. Stunning, isn't it? I mean, look at the crop straight away. You can see it just looks more defined, more full. And there's someone walking in there. Someone just walking in the distance. Might be Bigfoot. I don't know. But yeah, it does look more full. Everything overall looks better. The lighting, the shadowing, the trees look more full, and the crop looks more full. But we've seen this before and we spoke about it. I think it's the next thing to do is get them game settings up to the highest you can, graphical-wise, and experience it yourself in November. Because I don't think they can do any more pictures that kind of give that justice. I think it's going to be something that we have to just see ourselves. This one's a pretty good one. Look, the guy's out in his Case Magnum, and there's just a storm to the side of him. He's probably trying to get back. You can see the soil deformation, and that's another good point. In that end play video that I mentioned, I will definitely put a link to that in the video description, so you can go and check that out. Remember, it is in German, so if you're not speaking German, just do what I did and just kind of nod and carry on watching. But you can see the soil deformation in the field. It is quite deep, in fact, it's especially in the fields. But you can see something here like that. It's always leaving a track of some sorts. And it does look good. I think over time, it'd be good. I would like the way of making it in like gateways. So you can have like a section that's maybe just a little bit deeper and the soil deformation looks like it is in a field, and you constantly just see the tire tracks where you're coming in and out of gateways. I think that would have a massive effect, and maybe modders can incorporate that into their maps going forward. I think that'd look awesome. But there's not much else that stands out there, just the kind of debris that obviously are flowing about in the twister. You can see the broken trees that we're going to visualize as it's happened. There's not much else going on really except the case. Yeah, I mean, look at that. Twist in the background, nice weather effects, lighting. I mean, it's not very definition though. If you look down at that, it's very it's quite blurry just because of the distance away from it, so we can't see the tractor. I'm trying to see if anything stands out. So maybe a shot there, sell point, some production, I don't know. But overall, it looks good. I mean, if you're seeing this in game and you're taking some screenshots, I think of thumbnails when I look at this and think, yeah, that's a pretty decent thumbnail. So this is a good one because you can see a bit of the soil deformation there. It looks like it's, it's taking some dents into the track as well, and he's running to his tractor. He obviously knows the storm's coming and so on. The light's coming through there. I do like it. But there's not anything too much that stands out of this, just the tractor. I like this is a little bit more defined. The wet tyres look really good. But again, we've mentioned this before. I just can't wait to actually play the game. And, you know, when the rain hits, I can see it on the window in front of me. I can hear it visually. It's just the immersiveness of that is going to improve the game a lot for me. Because weather's a massive thing. It really is an important thing within the farming community in real life farming. So it's nice that we're getting some kind of change to the weather and a bit more in depth for us players. So here we go. We've got a barge here. Now it does state, and I did this in my video yesterday about FS25 and the information we're getting, that the barge will not be running at certain times. If there's heavy fog, high winds, and also waves, which now we've got the water physics within FS25. I imagine if there's a storm going through and you see the waves, probably these boats are going to be bobbing up and down. We might see some, agitation to the water itself. So this will not actually work. So it's funny if you're actually on the other side of it and you need to get across to maybe go take your bales in. How are you going to do that? Are you going to, super strength, or I don't know. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. And then again, we've got some more pictures here of the twister in full force. I mean, it is that's a massive twister, really. Especially from the distance, it looks good. The clouds as well. I really like the look of the clouds there. They've done a really good job of that, and you can see the darkness of that one. You can see the darkness straight away in the twister area. Yeah, I think it's going to look good. I mean, like I said, it's not something I'm going to see often if I'm playing on UK maps, but the hail and the actual change in the weather and the rain and stuff like that is going to be my focus. So this is a picture we saw about the crop destruction. You can see that it's sporadic in areas, but, if that's going and sitting there lingering in a field and it's not too fast, you're going to see quite a lot of your crop just completely disappear. And you can see that it's kind of gone back to the seeded state. It looks like a seedbed state, but obviously it's not going to be grown from that point. So, you fully lost the crop. Be interesting to see what it does to grass, though. I got another picture of the twister and what it's carrying. And obviously this crop's probably going to have a bad time. So you can see the clouds there. Look at that cloud. It looks really good. If that's in-game and that's what we're seeing, I really like that sky. You can see the definition of that cloud, the way it looks angry. There's a storm brewing over there, as they say, or there'll be a storm brewing over there, as a pirate would say. I don't know why I just did that, but I did it, and I'm going to keep it in the video. Anyway. So we got some rain. You can see the rain particles and the wetness on the bodywork now, which I do like. We saw some good information about bodywork at FarmCom as well, about the scratches and stuff like that. So yeah, nice John Deere tractor there. And this is a picture of the shed now after. Now it does look like, he's putting some boards on after. You can see that they're across. I don't know. I imagine it's just going to be, if it is something that's incorporated into the game, where we get planks and we repair our sheds. But, without seeing it or hearing it, without actually getting any details on that, we're just guessing. But it did say that it does some damage to his shed. So I'm saying that's the first inkling that that's, going to be a possibility, which I do like. I like the idea of repairing my shed. And even if it's just visual, it's just a visual thing, I still like the idea of it, because everyone wants to keep the farm tidy and, take pride in it. Some really nice shots of sunflowers here. They've definitely improved sunflowers. They do look better. And what a nice picture of the calm after as well. So see if we can zoom in and see anything of interest. I doubt we can. I mean, it looks like it's going to be a stunning map. I think for, a starting map, it's actually probably one of the best ones I've seen out of, FS20, FS19, FS22 wise. I think for base game maps, this is, it's an improvement. It's got more going on. So I've zoomed in on this one because, you can see some of the tree. I think even the trees look better, don't they? The bark and everything on them. And you can see the damage to it. It's pretty much just ripping straight through there. And then you've got the sunflower field over here. It's probably going to head over in that direction. But there's not really too much that stands out. Again, it's just we've seen the trees. We know they look better. We know the lighting's better. We know the shadowing's better. We know the crop and everything's more dense and looks better overall. I mean, the grass I keep looking at to see if there's any change about that. It kind of looks a little bit better. I don't know. It's really difficult to say. I think it's definitely better from FS22. I think the starting base game kind of grass we got was a little bit strange for me. It was quite vibrantly coloured. I think it needs to be dulled down, and it looks like it has been dulled down here. So there's potential there. Yeah, I do like the look of that grass. I do. I think it looks, it is an improvement on FS22's And the crop, I've mentioned already, it looks a lot better. I don't know if I missed this one, but I think I might have missed through this one. But again, this is another one about hail, and I like the hail. This is what I'm looking forward to. I've not actually seen too much about the hail, but I do like it. I think it's interesting, and it's definitely an improvement to have another weather effect. I just hope we get some kind of Seasons of Old. That's my personal opinion. I do want to see Seasons of Old. I do miss the fact that we could have bales that rot, and yeah, there's a lot of benefits to the old seasons that we have to the current. So I hope they've not just forgotten that now and just kind of put seasons in. I know they've obviously changing. They're obviously putting weather effects in. They're obviously doing all this. I hope they've got some small little changes there. I mean, if it rains, your bales will get, they'll start to deteriorate and get rot away because they're wet. But they've obviously focused on bales a little bit by the fact that you can lose your bales if the twister goes over them. So maybe we've had some cracking information come out from Gamescom. Big shout out to Giants. Can't wait for FS25. But hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it informative. If you have, give it a thumbs up for me. I really do appreciate that. And again, if you are thinking of pre-ordering the game, link in the video description to use my creator code. I really appreciate that. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more videos just like this one on Farming Simulator. See you everyone.